Tadej Pogačar has now won 4 stages of the Giro d'Italia in the Maglia Rosa, which is the first time that has happened since 1973, and that's when Eddy Merckx won 5 stages in the Maglia Rosa. Now, Tadej Pogačar came into this season saying he wants to make his mark as one of the greatest cyclists of all time, Nathan. He's making a decent fist of it, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing what he has to do, that's for sure. There's still Olympics coming this year, World Championships, Tour de France, maybe even a Vuelta.
Yeah.
So...
well, time will tell us if he's doing more than he has to do.
Yeah. Straight onto tracks.
Yeah. I mean, let's get into that pub discussion, Dan, because we were hyping him a lot before this Giro d'Italia. And I confess I was slightly reticent because while he has been incredible since he burst onto the scene, and he's still only 25, I hadn't felt he'd earned the stripes that justified us talking about him in the same breath as an Eddy Merckx, for example. He's maybe not quite there just yet, but he is showing the promise that he can indeed fulfil that ambition.
It's going to be really difficult for him to get to Merckx level because... Well, Killian Kelly, my colleague, made a graph of sort of wins per year of their age, Merckx and Cavendish and Pogačar and all these prolific winners. And whilst Pogačar sort of matched him, but in the first 2 or 3 years, there's a point where Merckx is... how prolific he was.
Proliferation
was just ridiculous. His graph just shoots up with like 30 to 40 wins every year, which even for Pogačar is going to be unheard of, I think, for him now. But given that it's the modern era, you don't have to go back that long to find a group of GC riders of their generation who barely even raced one-day races, let alone going for wins in cobbled classics. I mean, that hasn't happened for decades. Yeah. So the mere fact that he's wanting to be on the start line of these one-day races like Strade Bianche, like Flanders, winning them, and like Nathan pointed out earlier, it probably won't be too long before he decides he wants to roll the dice, as it were, at Paris-Roubaix. And given how he rode over the cobbles a couple of years ago in the Tour de France, it's not going to be easy for him to win, of course, but you wouldn't count him out of winning something like that. So that is why he can sort of start to stake a claim as being one of the best of all time. But it's going to be very difficult to get past Merckx's record.